I'm very sceptical as to whether actually people voted for this sort of green agenda that's been coupled with Boris. We all know that, his election in 2019 was very much a protest vote, but now it's coming with all these sort of uncontrollable spending or uncontrolled spending, raising taxes to then raise minimum wage, which doesn't make sense, and now this ridiculous green agenda that is it's really just going to make winter hard for everyone.
It's also the green agenda is not on brand, is it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not a Conservative party. I don't know where to be honest, I don't even recognise.
Well, I think what's going to happen is that at the next election, Benjamin Butterworth is going to vote Tory.
I wouldn't hold your breath, honestly. I think you'll line your shirt before I'll vote Tory. Look,
bravo.
We're going out on you. Look, COP26 is really important, not just for the environment, that's obviously the most important thing, but also I think for Britain's role in the world, it's important that we do a good job, that we seem sincere and authentic about this. I don't think the £1,600 to seal the deal. That's what we need to do.
You're on fire tonight.
But
what have they put in his tea?
Look, it only gets worse, Mark. Look, I think it's really important. And also the questions over whether the Queen will be well enough to attend. That's been in the papers in recent days. Look, I think we all have to get behind this because we need this to be like the Paris Accord that came out a few years ago. The world needs to take action. And, I fear that some of the leaders aren't going to be in the room. Some of the leaders we've talked about tonight, and that could cause massive problems.
You mean the ones polluting the most? That's the irony.
President Xi. Yeah. Carol, I have a problem.
Darling?
Where
Can I help you? I'm not ironing your shirt.
Definitely not.
I'm not helping you buy a new suit.
You're far too much of a modern woman to be ironing shirts.
No, I could help you. I could help you a lot. Yeah.
I need help. And do you know what my issue is? I now have a crisis of confidence in scientists and politicians.
So do I.
Because of the COVID-19 pandemic and different approaches to it and, a lot of damage, and I think it's been an experiment that hasn't played out the way that in this country, SAGE or the government might have hoped. And therefore, my confidence in whether they know what they're talking about when it comes to global warming is now dented. I don't trust those that lead us.
I think Boris he's done with COP26 and with the green issue generally. I think he's set expectations too high. I think he's over-promising without having done the maths. We know that if we're going to get to zero carbon by 2050, if we're going to reduce them a lot by 2030, this is going to cost, the cost per household is going to be about 50 grand. To make our houses the way Boris is saying they have to be. Now, families can't afford it. I don't
Who signed up for
if
this?
the government are going to promise 5 grand to get the new boiler. It doesn't matter. It's not going to be enough. And people can't afford it. And we even see with Extinction Rebellion protesters, they can't afford to do what they're asking the rest of us to do. He's overpromised. And I don't believe Boris is a big greenie either. I think his wife Carrie is a big green person.
Do you think he's under pressure from her indoors?
I do. I really.
Who asked for this?
That.
Seriously, who asked for this? Who asked for years of just rising energy bills to make Boris's green agenda happen? Who literally asked for this?
And the thing is, we don't. What he's promising, we don't have the technology in place to have the kind of energy he wants in the next 20 years. We don't have it. It's not there.
And it's very comfortable for these politicians to force this kind of stuff on us because they're hardly ever affected, right? Apart from the wages that they get paid, which are fairly comfortable, they also have stacks of money stashed somewhere, so they probably can't afford 50 grand to make their lives a green paradise. No, but it's ridiculous. Who signed up for this? Who is saying, actually, yes, increase my energy bills year upon year to make my home a green shoebox haven?
Nobody signed up for it. We were the first country, weren't we, to promise to get to net zero and to reduce them by 2050. But again, that hadn't been worked out. The math hadn't been done. And it should have been, because we're going to look very silly. And, we can have this conference and we say what we like at this conference. If Russia and China are on there, the two biggest polluters on the planet, it makes no sense.
And on that, we can all agree.